Today's episode is called Who's Protecting Your IP?
Educate your money now.
Hello, and welcome to Educate Your Money podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Curry-Case, owner of Matinee Bookkeeping and Tax Solutions. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Today's episode is called Who's Protecting Your IP? We will be discussing what is intellectual property, the importance of registering a copyright, and what does that process consist of. We would like to thank Out and About Business Solutions for sponsoring our podcast today. Today's guest is Andréa Simmons, Esquire, Managing Attorney at ABSIMMONS Law. Attorney Andréa Simmons obtained her BA in English from the University of Utah. While raising her 4 children with a spouse working overseas, she obtained her Juris Doctorate from Thomas Jefferson School of Law. She received her Master's of Law degree in International Business Law from Steinbeis School of International Business and Entrepreneurship. She is currently the chair of the Las Vegas National Bar Association Foundation and sits on the board of the Nevada Prep Charter School. Andréa has several years of experience prosecuting trademarks as well as responding to office actions. She also has several years of experience in copyright prosecution, where she has helped artists of various forms protect their creations. She understands that branding is key to the development of an artist and small businesses. She is dedicated to helping to build and protect that brand. She wants to protect your IP rights, both domestically and internationally. Hello, Andréa. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Kristen.
So over the years, I have received so many questions from followers and feedback on this topic. For even myself, I've even had questions that I have been wanting to ask as well. I think it's one of those things that business owners put off until something happens that makes them need to come to someone like you, whether it be an attack on them or them accidentally maybe attacking someone else and attacking in the way of using someone else's brand. But there are things they can do to help protect their brand, their model, their image or product. And there's things that can be done proactively by seeing someone that is in business law like yourself and who has the experience of helping to protect them. So I know a big one that many followers have asked had to do with what is the business owner's intellectual property rights?
Okay. So a business owner actually has a lot of intellectual property rights. And a lot of people, and especially business owners, don't even understand that. So basically, as a business owner, your copyright or your intellectual property rights can be the name of your business. If your business is unique, if you have a niche business, then the name of your business alone, you have your intellectual property rights in that. You also have it in your logo, the logo that you've developed for your business. You have your IP rights in that, as well as any slogans. Like, for instance, my slogan is "Who's protecting your IP?" So I do have intellectual property rights in that because that is a part of the brand in which I'm building for my business. And so as businesses, there's a number of things that you can have their intellectual property rights in. For instance, let's look at Apple. The Apple half bitten is their logo, right? No one else can touch that. No one can even come close to it and trying to use or replicate anything remotely close to that. Also, you're in good hands, like Allstate, right? Everybody knows that slogan, "You're in good hands," is an Allstate slogan, and Allstate does have their protection on that slogan. So as a business, there are a number of things that you can have rights in, as well as, say, for instance, if you're a business that does consulting, or you put together workshops or different type of things like that, the programs in which you put together, you can have your copyrights in those, right? If you write a book following behind the business plan of your business, you can have your copyrights in your book. So there are a number of things in which businesses and business owners can have intellectual property rights in.
So I know other questions that have come up, and maybe we can kind of break down each of these, but one of them is, what is a patent?
Okay, so a patent is a different type of intellectual property right. And the thing is about a patent, and what I think most people don't understand is that the patent it's anything that you have made into a tangible form, right? So you cannot patent an idea. If it's still in your head, it's not patentable. It has to actually be in a tangible form in order for it to be patent. And it has to have processes that goes along with that, right? There's a number of things that are patent, like the remote control for your television. Your television itself is a patent, the ring light that everybody uses, like those type of things. So it's something that is created, that is made into a tangible form. You also can have things that are patented that are an expansion or a better use of something that was already previously created and patented. And so you can obtain patents and those type of things. Patents are a different beast, and they require, and because they're a different beast, and they require you to have more of a technical background, because you have to learn to write in a way that allows you as an engineer to tell people in words what your product does, or how it is, or how it can be developed and created. And you also have to take an additional exam on top of the bar exam in order to be a licensed patent attorney or a patent agent. And so.
Wow. Okay. And so what is a trademark?
So a trademark is a name, a slogan, or a logo.
Okay.
Right? So those are the main things that are trademarks. And name also can be a word, right? It can also be a word mark. And so those are typically what we classify as being trademarks.
So what's the difference between a trademark and trade secrets?
Okay, so trade secrets are things like a recipe.
Oh.
Like, say, for instance, the Big Mac special sauce.
Okay, right.
That is a trade secret, right? The ingredients for what's in that special sauce. KFC has trade secrets on the spices that they put on their chicken. So if you have, like, the special recipe that you use that is not public knowledge, that you don't disclose to anyone. And that also goes with formulas as well, right? So if you create a formula, that is also a trade secret. So anything that is not within the public domain, that is easily accessible to the public and is very critical and crucial to what it is that you've created and you've developed, and you're trying to keep that protected, that's what a trade secret is. And the cool thing about the trade secrets out of all of the other IP rights is that your trade secret rights are automatic. And so there isn't even anything that you have to file for them. So you don't even have to file anything for your trade secrets, that they pretty much become automatic as long as you're the one that created it and developed it. So.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So what is a copyright?
So a copyright is a literary work, right?
Oh.
And so, and when we think of literary work, most people think of, a book. Okay, however, there's different things that classify as a literary work. You have film. Film is considered to be a literary work, right? You also have photography. So photographers get copyrights in every photo that they snap.
Wow.
They automatically have copyrights in. Hence why they have to give you a release in order for you to be able to use the images which they take of you to kind of put out there. And so I have a lot of friends that are photographers, and I'm like, are you protecting, are you giving releases? Are you making sure that, because people can't just slap everything on Instagram and Facebook unless you've given them the release, and helping them understand those rights and how important it is to protect those. You also have your books, whether your books are in audio form or whether they are in written form or whether they're in a digital format. That's classified as copyrights. When your recipes are written down, so right, you have to stay secret of the actual recipe, but let's say you make a whole cookbook and you got all the, and that's your copyrights as well. Music, if you're an artist and you develop music, whether it's through composition or whether it's through vocals or whether it's through instruments or whatever it is, then you have copyrights in those as well. And or even as the producer, the producer also has copyright and different things. Also periodicals, newspapers can have copyrights in a lot of the things that they have. If you do collective work with someone else and you guys co-author, or you do collective work with a group of individuals, then you also have copyrights in the works in which you created. And so it's your work, your literary works that you put into a tangible form are what are your copyrights.
So I guess, what is the main reason of why someone should copyright?
So one of the main reasons why you should copyright is to protect what it is that you've created. The biggest thing is that you take the time and you create something. Do you want it for someone else to just come along and just take it and try and claim it as their own? Absolutely not. You've taken the work, you've put in the effort in order to create it and to develop it. One of the main things to realize, though, is that it does have to be in a tangible form. Your thoughts are not copyrightable. So you can't say, well, I thought about that first. That's great that you did think about that first. However, until you actually put it in a tangible form, you can't claim that you have copyrights in it. And so it's really important for you to get copyrights and to develop your copyrights. And so one thing that you want to understand is that copyrights is universal. So you definitely want to be able to obtain those because they actually are recognized in every country. So you want to be able to protect it, and the protection on them is really long as well. And so you want to make sure that you are protecting your copyrights and that you're preventing other people from being able to just come along and just take credit for the work in which you put in.
So when someone copyrights their work, do they own that, or who owns it?
So if you are the actual creator and you copyright it, then you are the owner of it. If you are not the creator, however, if the creator of it is what we classify as a work for hire, so someone that you actually hired, you gave them the idea and they just created it for you, then you would do what we would call a work for hire agreement, so that they know that those copyrights in that work which they created under your direction is your copyright. Also, you can purchase copyrights too, right? A lot of things that have happened, like Lil Nas with his, the song "The Old Town Road." That was a song that was copywritten. However, in the free domain for someone to purchase it and own those rights in it. And so that's what he did. So he purchased it, obtained the rights in it, and was able to recreate it and make it his own.
So that brings on another question that has come up, which is, how long does a copyright last? Like, is it forever, 10 years? Do you have to renew?
So the interesting thing, what I like to tell people is to thank Walt Disney, because Walt Disney kind of set the precedent for copyrights with Mickey Mouse. And so to keep Mickey Mouse from getting into the public domain, they keep recreating him to make it as though he is a new thing. So Right now, it's the life of the author or the
Mm.
life of the creator plus 70 years.
Okay.
So 70 years after the creator, or if it's multiple creators, whoever lived the longest, it's 70 years after the last living individual that is listed on the copyright. That's how long the copyright will last, which is in essence can be a pretty long time.
That is a long time.
And so that's why even as individuals pass on, that their estates can still be able to collect on those copyrights.
So, what if someone accidentally uses someone else's copyright? Someone who wasn't even intentionally doing it. What should they do if they accidentally, and they get a letter or they get some type of notice saying that, hey, that's mine?
So typically, whenever someone does what we call infringe, right? So whenever someone infringes on your intellectual property rights, the appropriate way to handle it is by sending what's called a cease and desist. So typically they would get what's called a cease and desist, and they would say, we ask that you cease and desist from infringing on our copyrights. And if your copyright is a registered copyright, then you can provide your registration number, letting individuals know that it actually is registered, and that's kind of your proof. So one thing that you want to understand is that if something is registered with the Copyright Office, if something is registered with the Trademark Office, if something is registered with the Patent Office, you are on notice. Whether or not you took the time to look it up or not, they don't care. So there are a lot of people that say, well, I accidentally or I didn't know. However, the Copyright, Trademark, Patent and Trademark Office are all public domains that are open to the public that you can go on and you can search. And so you can't make the claim that I accidentally, because I didn't know, because it's public record. So